Every one of your cells is wrapped in a barrier thinner than you can imagine. And that barrier is constantly deciding what gets in and what stays out. Here's the surprising part. A huge amount of that traffic happens for free. No energy spent at all. In the next 5 minutes, I'll show you how the membrane is built and how molecules cross it without the cell lifting a finger. Quick roadmap. First, the structure, the famous fluid-mosaic model. Then we'll sort out what slips across on its own versus what needs a helping hand. And then the 3 ways things move passively. Simple diffusion, facilitated diffusion, and osmosis. Stick around to the end for one idea that ties all this together. So the membrane. Picture a double layer of phospholipids. Each one has a water-loving head and 2 water-fearing tails. The tails tuck inward. The heads face the water on both sides. That's the bilayer. Now scatter proteins all through it. Channels, carriers, receptors. That's the mosaic part. Like tiles set into a floor. And here's the fluid part. Nothing is nailed down. The lipids and proteins drift sideways, so it behaves less like a wall and more like a sea with proteins floating in it. That oily middle is the key to everything that follows. Because the core is oily, there's a simple rule. If a molecule is small and nonpolar, it dissolves right through. Oxygen, carbon dioxide, small lipids. Even water sneaks through slowly because it's tiny. But if a molecule is large or charged, that oily layer flat out repels it. Ions like sodium and potassium, glucose, amino acids, they can't cross on their own. They need a protein door. Keep that split in mind because it decides which route each molecule takes. Route 1, simple diffusion. Molecules are always jiggling around randomly, when they're crowded on one side and sparse on the other. That random motion naturally spreads them out. Net movement goes from high concentration to low. No protein, no energy. The concentration gradient itself is doing the work, and it keeps going until both sides are even. At that point, we call it equilibrium. Molecules still move both ways, but there's no net change. Route 2, for the molecules that can't cross alone, facilitated diffusion. Same driving force, still high to low, still no ATP. But now a protein helps. 2 kinds. Channel proteins form a water-filled tunnel that lets ions like sodium and potassium flow straight through. And carrier proteins grab a molecule like glucose, change shape, and drop it off on the other side. The important thing, these are still passive. The protein is the door, not a pump. It's not pushing anything uphill. Route 3 is really just diffusion with a special guest, water. We call it osmosis. Water moves across the membrane toward the side with more dissolved solute, because that's the side with relatively less water. So water flows in to dilute the crowded side until things balance out. Same passive logic, just applied to water flowing its own gradient. This isn't just textbook stuff, it's happening in you right now. In your lungs, oxygen diffuses from the air sacs into your blood while carbon dioxide diffuses out. Pure simple diffusion. Each gas down its gradient. In your kidneys, osmosis pulls water back into your blood instead of dumping it, which is why you don't lose liters of water a day. No pumps in these steps. The gradients handle it. So here's the one line to remember. Passive transport needs no energy, because the gradient does the work. Simple diffusion, facilitated diffusion, osmosis, all of them move things from high to low. And if you ever see something going the other way, low to high, that's something called active transport in a whole different video. If this made membranes click for you, hit subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.